Hello and Assalamu alaikum. I'm your host Zainab Afandi Hakki, back with another episode at Law Hive powered by Zapiz and brought to you by Zab FM Digital. Today we're back again with a proud alumnus of our own. She graduated in 2017 and since then she has been working as an in-house counsel in different organizations, including Group M, Adamji, and currently she is working at an MNC pharmaceutical Novo Nordisk. She's also a certified mediator and an advocate of the high courts. Ms. Sayyida Rabia Abdi. Welcome to the show, Rabia.
Thank you so much for having me, Ms. Zainab.
Well, I'm glad you could take your time out and join us for this episode.
It was a pleasure.
Rabia, let's just start with our conversation and jump in. As a fresh graduate, everything that you studied in that 3-year program of yours, how beneficial was it in your practical life as a legal professional, as an in-house counselor?
So I think for the best part, the degree equips us to understand how to interpret the law, how to apply the law. So as an in-house counsel, especially when you're in different industries and you're questioned, that you don't have an experience of this particular industry, the first thing I always say is, or used to say initially at least, was that our degree equipped us to understand the law, to apply the law, and to sort of roll on from there. I won't say that if I studied XYZ, I went ahead and applied XYZ, but it is the skills that the degree equipped you with that, of course,
so your concepts
helped you.
Of course, as a fresh graduate, they don't expect an expert in any law in particular, but your concepts were very clear.
Absolutely. Of course, there is this challenge of having concepts from a UK law program and then applying it to a Pakistani industry. Of course, that definitely is a challenge. But again, as I said, because you're equipped to understand what and how the law says, you can pick up any law and be like, I understand what this says.
So your first job was a legal management trainee at Group M. That's what you shared with us, but I want to inquire further. Was that really the first job? And if so, what was the transition like from a student life to practical life?
Right. So, no, as I was sharing before we started off, and I think it's very important to share failures as much as you share your successes.
Because, that's what makes it more real.
Absolutely. I graduated. I landed a job in an organization as a corporate something.
Okay.
And I was like, of course, this is what I want to do. I was teaching at that point in time in Beacon. They wanted me to continue for another year, but I was this excited young graduate who thought, I want to go into the legal profession. I joined in, and a week in, I realized I have no idea what I'm doing, and this is not what I want to do. I went back to my mother and I said, I don't think law is cut out for me. I always wanted to be a teacher, so you know what? I'm resigning. I'm going back.
Why? What? Was it challenging? Was it different? Was it not what you expected?
It was not what I was expecting, right? It could probably be the organization. It could be the work. It could be the overall culture. And that's why I think it's very important to sort of pick the right organization or the right fit for you. I left that. I started teaching. I was teaching at 2 A-level colleges, had over 100 students, one of the best times of my life. Started interning at a law firm. They were very flexible with the timings to accommodate my teaching. And during that internship, I was just applying randomly. I think, again, as a fresh graduate, all you want is a job.
Right. I just want to ask, how many places were you applying at?
Anything and everything that came by, right? So it could be a law firm, it could be in-house, whatever. You just want a job once you graduate.
Right.
And that can be a very challenging time, I think, for graduate students. Especially if you don't have lawyers in the family, you don't have a law firm to jump to. I applied, I got a call from Group M, and it was a management trainee position, and I was like, yes, whatever this entails. I think I've broken so many files in my first month at Group M, because that's not something we were never taught at law school, to how to file and all of. मुझे वो क्लिप ही नहीं आता था खोल के बंद करना, मैं तोड़ देती थी. And I would give due credit to my line managers and my seniors there, and they would be like,
their patience level.
हाँ, मैंने stamp papers बहुत ज़ाया किए हैं.
Did you intern at all during your 3 years?
I did. So I interned at Ordignum, a law firm. That was the first internship. First year के बाद की थी. मुझे भी कुछ नहीं आता था. And I think उनका program थोड़ा सा इतना structure नहीं था कि बहुत ज़्यादा काम नहीं होता था. Every time I'd go up to my senior and I'd be like, हो गया. I'm like, अभी से हो गया. And I'm like, हाँ, मेरा तो हो गया. Then I interned at NFP. That was an NGO by Gibran Nasir. So I worked under him. And then I worked at PTCL. PTCL was...
That's nice.
Yes, PTCL was referred to me by my property teacher. So of course you remember that one.
Oh, that's nice.
But that was... PTCL was my first in-house experience.
And I'm guessing that did the groundwork for you to
Absolutely.
make a decision?
Because, again, due credit to the two seniors I worked with at PTCL.
Okay, should that include me too?
I think credit due to you for getting me there. But Mashuk Saab or Hassan Saab hote the, and he would take me to court. He taught me how to vet contracts.
Proper exposure.
So exactly, वो proper मतलब वो दे देते थे काम ये लें करें इस तरह से करें. So I think that, and I was like, okay, so
इस वाले ऑफिस में काम भी बहुत ज़्यादा है.
I was like,
appreciated you for that.
So I was like, not bad, it's fun. It's giving me that court exposure, whatnot. Like when I landed in Group M, then I was like, oh, so this is contracts. वहाँ पे majorly काम contracts, and I was like, so I think for in-house position, it's very important to identify the sort of organization you want to work with. Because when I moved to Adamji, I don't know, 4 years went by like this. Mm-hmm. Because of the sort of work there was, because the sort of exposure there was, and I've absolutely learned a lot from that.
And then you jumped ship because this was a better opportunity.
I think 4 years is quite a considerable time.
But Adamji, I believe, was insurance based, right?
Life
and
insurance.
Right now you're at a pharmaceutical. So, any differences?
So as I said, yes, and I think that's the first question I get whenever I go for an interview as well, right? Aapka industry experience bilkul alag hai.
Yeah.
And it perhaps matters, I don't know if it matters perhaps with interview for sure. To me, it did not make a lot of difference. Group M was media and then Adamji Life, and I spent 4 years there. Of course, when I first moved to Novo Nordisk, the first few months I was like, pharma would fly by. Lots of science, lots of technical terms and so on and so forth. But as I said, it is what the degree equips you with. So now if you'd give me a pharmaceutical related sort of law and you'd be like, I can tell you what it means and I can give you that advice and I can definitely opine on it, yeah.
So, I've worked in an organization as well. So I'm in-house counsel and I've litigated as well. So we were talking about this earlier. One has to figure out which direction they feel more comfortable with. Now, I keep hearing you keep reiterating that it really matters which organization you end up going in. Was there any particular reason you didn't pursue litigation and you were just, or was it a decision you had taken in while you were a student? Maybe when you interned at PTCL, you said court exposure mila tha aapko. That was just never enough to influence you? Yeah.
No, so I would be lying if I say कि मुझे हमेशा से in-house जाना था, right? So there are students who, I have had friends who, since day one, they knew they wanted to go in-house. I had friends who, since day one, they knew wanted to do litigation. I was open. I definitely wanted to do litigation. I think it was the circumstances.
I want to talk about the circumstances in particular. I've heard normally kabhi hota hai yahan pe jidhar, I've even heard students speak like this, I'm a second generation lawyer or I'm a third generation lawyer, and you, I believe, is a first generation lawyer. So do you think there's an apparent discrimination or a hint of nepotism that you feel that maybe relations over merit would be preferred?
Since I have not experienced it directly, I wouldn't, sort of claim it to be nepotism or something of that sort, or sort of go on for a blanket term. But of course it matters, right? So getting that first opportunity really makes a difference. That said, I do know people who are first generation lawyers and still ended up doing litigation.
So you believe there is good
scope?
Scope.
It's not easy. It's not served in a platter, of course, for somebody who already has a law firm. It's like having a family business, right? So if I have a family business, my son or my daughter have a position to at least have as a
Fallback
fallback
on, if
right?
nothing else.
If nothing else. So it's just that I'd say.
But you would have to prove yourself because once, even if they do get an opportunity law firm के अंदर कहीं ना कहीं पे उन लोगों को prove तो करना पड़ेगा ना.
हर किसी को करना पड़ेगा, right? But getting that first opportunity would perhaps
You
be
feel like
easier.
getting into the gateway still.
It's definitely.
That in itself is a big struggle.
It is. I think so.
But that was not the deciding factor for you.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. So for me, it was more like, I was interning at a law firm. This opportunity in-house came by. I applied. I got in. When I went and told my boss of that internship, and I was like, so I'm resigning, and he was like, क्यों? मैंने तो सोचा था मैं तुम्हें इस internship के बाद job offer कर दूंगा. I was like, well, too late, right? I think for me it was एक graduate होकर के job चाहिए. I was already working, as I told you. I stopped teaching.
Yeah.
I left that comfortable, having a job sort of a safety. So for me, it was just जो job आ रही है पहली ले लो. Going back is difficult, right? So when I was at Group M, a lot of my colleagues were like, no, you should try litigation. We think you're somebody who can do it. Blah, blah. But then when you're again at a certain salary with a certain, you've already have a job and everything, then you're
the
offered
fringe benefits involved.
Of course, in-house comes with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of predictability, as we were talking about it earlier. So I realized that 4 years of litigation versus a 1 year in organization, I had time for a social life in that 1 year. I had time for my family in that 1 year compared to the other 4 years. But कहने को मैं घर पहले आ जाती थी, but I would never stop working. Litigation के अंदर
I think
that work-life balance मेरे लिए कम से कम काफी
definitely work-life balance, of course, litigation का एक थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा challenging है, but ये assumption कीजिए in-house में you can stop working or when you come home there's no work. Again, I think that really depends on where you're working. The organization I'm at values work-life balance.
That's good.
Absolutely. But that said, there are still times when you have to put in the extra hours.
That would be occasional, na? That would be very occasional. Just of course,
Perhaps
I understand.
यहाँ पर
Deadlines
comparatively
है.
occasional है, and like certain times.
Litigation के अंदर ना वो work-life balance occasional लगता है.
हाँ, that's true. As I said, my brother is in litigation, and I absolutely agree to that.
Right.
Yes, we see him very rarely now.
Exactly.
I understand.
So वो pockets मिलती हैं, intervals मिलते
हाँ,
हैं,
like,
but then they
home
have
today,
to
yeah.
rush back, like okay, like और
Yes.
client का है, एक नया case आ गया है.
Yeah.
वो last minute cancellations is very common, whereas in organizations everything is more structured.
That's true. You definitely have more structure. That's absolutely true. And as you said, benefits.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I think that's something we can be proud of.
Yeah, because litigation के अंदर एक तो that challenge would be there because I know you are very good at mooting and हम लोग आपको as a judge भी बुलाते रहते हैं. So it's very common. So one would imagine you being a good litigator as well.
Yeah.
But I think
I mean, if I can ever go back again
as a hobby,
now for me to ask कि जी आप ये सब छोड़ें और I was offered an unpaid internship at a very reputable law firm while I was 6 months in my Group M role. So as I said, at that point it becomes like, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
But Acha, so let's talk about in-house counsel, the type of work that you do. So I believe there's contract vetting over there, the regulatory work, employment issues आते रहते हैं. So what kind of work do you specialize in? Is it all?
Yes. So again, because I've jumped industries or moved industries, it's been a variety of work. So at Group M, it was mostly contracts and contract negotiations and so on and so forth. At RMG, I got a flavor of everything. We had litigation and quasi-judicial forums. So there was ombudsman, there was mediation at SECP and so on and so forth. And that perhaps took 90% of my time. So appearing at ombudsman levels or even at
so you would be appearing yourself or you would outsource?
At ombudsman, I would appear myself.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And at mediation as well, I would do it myself. We'd outsource when it comes to high court cases, of course. But if there's mere submissions to be made, then we'd be able to do those. For ombudsman and mediation was prepared in-house.
You buy?
Yeah,
okay, great.
In-house. So again, as I said, that gave me a lot of flavor, a lot of different work. Then at Group at Novo Nordisk, it's a completely different sort of work exposure because there's a lot of global compliances we're working with, and then of course
right, because this is an MNC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I recently completed a short-term assignment that I was doing at our business area Africa office. I think, of course, exposure or working in MNC sort of gives you a lot of other sort of exposures. You get to work with across, across countries, across regions. So that's also very interesting learning.
So, have you ever had to make a tough call that has questioned your ethical boundaries, your legal judgment during your work over here or anywhere otherwise? So you don't have to name any organization.
Yes, let's not name the organization, but yes. And as I said, deadlines and pressures in-house भी बहुत होते हैं.
Right.
And somebody from the very senior management wanted to take a decision and they wanted to go ahead with a certain legal action. And I thought that was not the right decision. We were doing a knee-jerk reaction. We needed to do our homework before we did it. It is very difficult for somebody who's, an assistant manager or deputy manager or manager for that matter to step up and tell the CEO, I don't agree. And I think that was definitely challenging. But then I was like, I know this is not going to work out. I know we're going to have a rejection the next day and this is not going to work out in our favor. So I went and I told him, and then it was interesting because then I was called in by the CEO along with the head of HR. And he said, okay, I heard you have an issue with this. And I was like, so I don't have an issue with this. I have an issue with the way we're doing it.
The approach.
Yes, okay. I was like, we want to take our time. Don't want to do a knee-jerk reaction. So yeah, I think there are definite times. Again, working in perhaps in an MNC is easier that way
because of the global compliance.
Because of the global compliances, we're a company originating from Denmark, so transparency index में बहुत फर्क है हमारे और Denmark के. Naturally, so we're very compliant, very transparent. So
that's I like the honesty there. So if any of our current students are thinking about in-house opportunities, what do you think they should be preparing for? Anything in particular that you wish once you started at Group M, you thought, oh, maybe I should have focused on this
other
particular
than the files
area?
That I broke?
Yeah, so I keep encouraging kids for internships. I think बल्कि internship के अंदर ये काम कर लेते तो ज़्यादा आसान था.
Absolutely. तब तोड़ ली होती files या stamp papers ज़ाया कर लिए होते कलर prints करके. But other than that, I think as an in-house counsel, what really sets you apart from somebody in a law firm and something you have to really understand for an in-house and from an external counsel perspective is you're not just telling them the law, right? You're part of the business. And you have to think that way. So it's very easy to say, oh, well, this is the law. Well, great, they could have gotten that opinion from somebody outside as well on an email. But when you're part of the business, you have to advise as part of the business. So it's very important, I think, for anybody wanting to join in-house, be open to understanding business and doing just more than just law. So a lot of times when you're working in-house, you're like, ye kaam legal nahi hai, right?
Yeah.
But you're part of the business then.
Yeah.
And then you have to be part of that team which is set out for a particular goal. Then your goal is not client deadlines in a law firm. It is supporting that business. And you have to be ready to evolve to that mindset.
What about those quarterly reports? That for me was
absolutely
a serious put off because I was like, why? But I would think actually half the time this is a very important, and that was a very crucial part of your core opportunity, core responsibility, where you have to prepare for over and over and over.
मेरे पिछले जो बॉस थे मैं उनसे कहती थी like मैं आपको एक फॉर्मेट बना के देती हूँ एक क्वार्टर में और आप उसको लेके जाते हो और फिर आप जब मीटिंग से बाहर निकलते हैं आप मुझे कहते हैं अब अगले क्वार्टर के लिए ये भी चाहिए और ये भी चाहिए. सो एंड देन यहाँ तो शायद मैं इतनी क्वार्टरली रिपोर्ट्स फिर भी इतनी नहीं देती. आई होप माय बॉसेस डोंट बट माय
डोंट शेयर दिस वन विद
या बट ऑन माय last again in my last role quarterly reports जाती थी and for somebody who does not understand maths and numbers very well
they're like half of
the legal fraternity, right? But for somebody like that, I worked in a life assurance company with numbers with of course हम premiums की बात कर रहे हैं और हम उसकी बात कर रहे हैं कि आपको क्या मिल रहा है क्या नहीं and उसकी claim settlements and उसकी reports बन रही हैं. So I used to be like that. Everybody knew कि रबिया को अगर कल submission करानी है, so my team and I would sit and मुझसे एक दिन पहले उसको हम लोग जो है ना, we would literally be sitting like this and I'd be like, somebody just get me a drink, coffee, whatever, and let's get to this. And okay, fine, let's get to the numbers and let's try to make some sense of it. But then, of course, as you said, crucial part, important and integral part of your role in-house. So you have to understand when you're coming in-house that you have to take it with a pinch of salt.
So how do you see this in-house counsel role evolving with time? I mean, I know because mashallah say I've seen you get promotions, and I know that's been that's been one of the prayers.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I see my own previous boss, you know, mashallah say she's at the top notch. I'm not going to disclose anything now, but she's at the most senior level she could get. But she's still quite young. So like what happens then? How do you see this role evolving for you and otherwise as well for the organization?
I think now with, of course, AI coming in, with a lot of other opportunities coming in, and also with businesses understanding, as I said, that, you know, the law department is not just there to tell them the law. There's just so much more that we offer as part of the teams in the organization. I think, of course, there's a lot of value in the future as well. The general counsel roles in organizations, and then you can always do specializations if you want to, you know, be a lawyer for a specific niche industry or an area. There's so much you can do. So you could just explore. I mean, I think there's no end to it.
So you just mentioned AI, and that has to be the hottest topic these days.
Disclaimer: I'm not a Gen Z. I'm not very hands-on with it.
No, but that's the real question, right? The people who are not Gen Zs, because Gen Z still it's easier for them.
It's like second nature to them.
Exactly. But for people like us, millennials, I wouldn't even know if you're a millennial, but I am.
But yes.
So people who would have to struggle with AI, do you see AI taking over such in-house counsel roles? Do you think AI can easily replace such counsel roles?
I don't think so. I don't think generally AI can replace humans, to be honest. But with law, and especially in our country as of now, I don't think so. There's a lot that you know, AI can't offer as of now. That human touch, that human element, of course, to it. When we use any of our AI tools, there's always a disclaimer. Please make sure you read it. Please make sure there's correction. Blah blah blah. So there's just so much to it that yes, it might help or assist us in reducing our menial tasks, administrative tasks, perhaps. I would love for AI to make my presentations.
You can. You can.
I know, but I think that takes me so much longer.
Yeah, because you have to proofread it.
No, and then I have to give it the right prompts and whatnot, right? So I'm somebody who, and I'm very open to things I don't know, and I'm very open to learning from my Gen Z colleagues and everybody. So I go like a full, ooh, what does this button do? And I'm very happy with like, oh my god, I can do this. So I
know that little discovery. You're like, oh, I understand.
Interesting. I can do this next time. So
it wasn't that hard.
I still think it was hard, but yes, absolutely.
All right, that's great. Rabia, I have to ask, what would you advise our upcoming graduates if they are interested in in-house counsel roles? What would your advice be? Something you wish your senior had taught you or guided you towards?
Internships. I think the more you do, the better you're placed at knowing where you want to go. And I also think it's okay to take a decision and then very early on realize that this is not what you want to do and you go back to it. It's easier to do it like, let's say, 6 months in a role compared to 6 years in a role. So be open to choosing and navigating the right fit for you.
And it's okay to fall.
And it is okay to fall. It's okay to fail. I started off with a failure, I told you.
So did I.
And
it's like everybody.
Of course, I think it's just that we don't share them, right? We talk about, oh, now I'm here, now I have this, but what brought you here?
Exactly.
Were there more? So, in my career at Adamji, there were times and moments when I would come in and I would tell my boss, and there was a lot of gender, discrimination, because I was working with a lot of government offices, right? And when you're working with such offices, आप ombudsman से आ रहे हैं, and ombudsman साहब का आपसे issue सिर्फ ये है कि आप एक young खातून हैं.
To be taken seriously at all.
Yeah, and for him to outright say, call my boss up and be like कि मुझे ये कल की बच्ची पढ़ाएगी. And you're like, भाई मतलब मैं लॉयर मतलब मैं सर आप लॉयर नहीं है, मैं लॉयर हूँ, मैं आपको लॉ पढ़ा रही हूँ. और फिर मैं वापस आती थी और शुरू में and I would be like, and I'd go to my boss and he was a doctor, I was like, doctor साहब, I think I should reconsider. And then I think I've gotten the luckiest with having the right mentors.
That's
so I think that's very important. I think the
that's
right boss and the wrong boss both teach you really, really well. So if you have a hard boss at the start of your career, that teaches you the best, I think.
I had one of those.
I had one of those too. I'm not going to say where in the three
because
ladder.
You know how they say as a lawyer you should have thick skin?
Yeah.
And I was full Papa Ki Pari wala scene. So, yeah, he was the one who helped me get over that phase. Yes.
Absolutely. So I would come in and I think Dr. Saab was like a wonderful mentor. And he would, he would guide me through those phases. I think I've just been very lucky with my bosses. That's for sure.
That's great. Well,
that's for sure.
So word advice is, let's hope you're lucky with your bosses.
No, find the right mentor. And that right mentor doesn't need to always be your boss, right? I mean, you could be very lucky and get somebody like that. You could be I think it's also very important that you look up to the person who's your line manager, because then that's where you're learning from.
And if he's not a good mentor, then look for some horizontal or lateral.
Yeah. And it is okay to look for a mentor who's not your boss or who's not your line manager. It's absolutely okay. But the right mentors take you a long way. That's for sure.
But at the same time, trust yourself, trust your instincts.
Trust your instincts.
Yeah.
You know where to go. Make that decision. Carve your path out for yourself.
And I believe, and you would be a better person to comment on this, but do you feel like organizations are much more equipped now for anti-harassment laws?
Absolutely.
They are now.
This is now an active conversation in organizations. Of course, the law requires them to have a committee in place and have protocols in place and so on and so forth.
And keep raising awareness. So, it's no longer a taboo issue. You need to keep on discussing.
And I think our Federal Ombudsman for Harassment is doing a wonderful job.
FOSPA is. Fawzia Lakar is doing an amazing job.
Absolutely.
So, Rabia, मुझे एक बात बताओ. Given that आप organization में हो and you're part of the legal team, ऐसा होता है most of the people from your organization, from different departments, come to you as your go-to lawyer person?
बिल्कुल होता है, राइट. एंड दे एक्सपेक्ट कि क्योंकि आपके नाम के आगे लीगल मैनेजर लगा हुआ है तो आपको सारे लॉज आते होंगे और आपको सब पता होगा. सो यूड हैव द मोस्ट रैंडम क्वेरीज फ्रॉम पीपल एंड they'd want you to read out and help them understand an order, or if they're going through another problem, they'd be like, oh, acha, hum is pe advice de dein, filan de dein. A lot of times, again, as I said, because you're able to read the law and understand a document, it is easy for you to advise. But then there are times when you don't, and then I just very openly and very honestly tell them that, I can advise you, guide you to a person, and you can ask the queries there. This is not my area of expertise. लोगों को लगता है आपको इनकम टैक्स फाइल करना आना चाहिए because आप लॉयर हैं. And I'm like, well, I have my people to do that, so you
have your income tax lawyers.
So I'm like, I can't do that for you, but thank you very much. Please go ahead, find somebody. Let me know if you find somebody nice as well. So that happens. Absolutely. People think that इन्हें सब आता होगा, और ऐसा नहीं होता. आपको सब नहीं आ सकता, स्पेशली अगर आपने यूके लॉ पढ़ा है और आप पाकिस्तान में प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं या आपने लिटिगेशन नहीं किया तो आपने वैरायटी ऑफ एरियाज पे काम नहीं किया, आप कॉर्पोरेट चीजें ही बता सकते हैं.
Well, what's been the most rewarding thing so far in your journey? कोई आपको याद आए, कोई ऐसी memory where you felt, okay, this was the most rewarding thing?
I think developing the team that I did at Adamshir. I had 3 people there with me, and I think I just got lucky at that one point in time where I had the 3 best, people to work with. One of them was a student when she joined us. She joined us at an internship, and she was so good. that I went and I told my boss that, maybe can we offer her something? And he, as I said, he's a wonderful mentor, and he himself was also like, let's try offering her something so we can keep her. We can't give her a full-time role, of course, per day and whatnot. But then we offered her a contractual position, and then there was this other young lady. Of course, when we were interviewing, there's this, because you want somebody who's well spoken and good communication skills. So she was from the local law program, but absolutely wonderful girl, absolutely wonderful talent again. I started off at Adamji with a small sub-function in an operations department, and by the time I left Adamji, it had become a department instead of, a sub-function in a department. And there was the management or the senior people would say, oh, let's consult with legal. And आपको ऐसा लगता है कि, just because you're a lawyer in the organization, you get this importance. I think we shouldn't expect that. So, if you're going into an organization thinking, बस क्योंकि अब मैं lawyer हूँ तो सब मुझसे ही पूछ रहे होंगे, कुछ करने से पहले ऐसा नहीं होता, right? There's always this friction between business and sales and the legal team, and honestly, and you worked in an organization, right? So you probably know this. You're probably going to be the most hated department
after HR.
Oh yes,
after
debatable, right? So they'll be like, ये वो department है जिसने हमारा सारा काम रोक दिया, इन्होंने तो कुछ करना ही नहीं देना, man. What
advice?
Exactly. So for that, especially in an organization जिनका 10 साल तक कोई legal department ना रहा हो, आदमजी में नहीं था, right? We established one in 2018. For that organization to give that space of having a legal function, and for that organization to say in a conversation that let's go to our legal and ask before we go ahead and do something, and not just as a firefighting sort of a thing. I think that is definitely one of my
felt you earned your space over there.
Absolutely, I think that's one of my accomplishments for sure. Then at Novo, I think I came in with legal experience. Yes, I had not done compliance whatsoever, global compliance, and so on and so forth. Learning that was definitely a learning experience and a fruitful experience.
Thank you so much, Rabia, for taking your time out and sharing this honest and unfiltered account of your journey throughout, especially into what it takes and the struggles that you faced as an in-house counsel. That's it, folks. We hope to see you again in our next episode with yet another alumnus. Take care. Till then.